forget Frost versus Nixon. What the public really wants is Withers versus Estornel. And here we are, round two, started in CES, now we're in Fabrice's hometown of Nice.
Indeed, welcome.
Thank you. And obviously at CES, you couldn't really talk about the products for Europe yet because they were going to be announced here at the convention. Now we're at the convention. Let's get down to some nitty-gritty, shall we?
Here we are.
ZT60. What's the deal with the ZT60?
Okay, so the ZT60 is actually the top end of the range, of plasma range this year. So one screen size only. I know that in the US the 65 was shown as well, but for the UK and Europe has been decided to have one screen size, to the 60-inch. So as you mentioned already, I've watched some videos already, so you see.
Okay.
We're using a new panel with no air between the panel and the filter. So it's a completely different panel from the rest of the range. So which is why we looked at this model as a kind of limited edition. There will be some nice kit inside, delivered with the product signed by the engineers, and so
yeah,
it's
got EBU certification. Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah. So that's the plan. Is to have a kind of, the brief for this product was to have a kind of, well, we say beyond reference, but
yeah, very bullish to say beyond the reference.
Well, you know, so that's as I said, that was the brief, is to make a product which goes beyond what we have today in plasma, which is why it's situated on top of the ZT. The VT, sorry, and so yeah, we are very excited about this model. So one screen size and a particular space in the range. So.
I can see that you're quite confident about this TV because you've got it next to a Kuro in one of the rooms here, and last year's VT50.
Yeah.
I have to say, it looked really impressive. I mean, the back levels were definitely, if not better than, certainly as good as the Kuro. But the level of detail in the image was definitely, the gradations were vastly superior.
Yeah.
Limited edition, basically. I mean, in terms of retail, then is it going to be through independent retailers, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we want to make sure that the product is properly demoed. So therefore, it will be sold by people who have the possibility to properly demo the products and show the full quality and benefits of the product. So yeah, independent dealers, some department stores, and where there's a possibility to really show the quality of the products. So yeah.
Great. And the obvious questions, and I know I mentioned it in the video yesterday, but when's it going to be out and how much is it going to cost?
Well, you are looking at May introduction, early May so far for the UK, and you are looking at an RRP of about £4,000.
You mentioned that the 65 was shown at CES in the US. Why aren't you launching a 65-inch panel here in Europe and the UK?
I think the main reason is the availability of panels. And the priority for larger screen size is still the US market. So to make sure we had sufficient quantities, we decided to go for the 60-inch, where there will be, I think, a bit more panels available. So it's just down to panel availability. As we said, it's not an easy panel to produce. So it's more complicated than the rest of the range in plasma. So therefore, in terms of volumes, it's more limited. So we decided to focus on the 60-inch because it was better in terms of panel availability.
Okay, I think there's going to be some disappointed people there that they can't get their hands on a 65-inch screen.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, but I think already it's anyway, it's a large screen size. So I think 60-inch will cover anyway the majority of the needs. But yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have maybe a 65-inch, but I think with the 60-inch we will. That should be enough for the market, for this kind of market we are targeting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why there's no 65-inch. There's a 60-inch. There's only a 60-inch. I mean, how come there are no other panel sizes at all?
Well, yeah. So I think for the moment, Japan is indicating that the minimum screen size that we produce is 60-inch. So to be honest, I don't know the exact reason, but I think, because it's limited production, we had to choose where to focus, and for this kind of products, obviously, I think larger is better. So far, We have only 60-inch for Europe and 60,
so we don't get
65.
largest, we only get larger.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, so for the moment, I mean, it's a first step. So I don't know what next year what will happen next year. It's probably depending on the reception of the model this year. But for this year, it's limited to 60-inch.
It's an interesting decision to make because you know, in this current environment, launching an enthusiast TV is relatively expensive. It is quite an unusual move to make. I mean, people have been asking for an enthusiast TV from Panasonic for a number of, ever since Pioneer left the market, basically. What was the reasoning behind the decision to do that now in 2013?
Well, I think it's probably down to it had to be a commercially viable proposition. It's just we have to make sure that we can do it for a price which is still affordable. I mean, £4,000 is expensive, but it's nothing compared to what this model would have been 2 or 3 years ago in term of cost. So it's all down to what it costs in term of production, and unfortunately we've seen what happened to Pioneer. So we have a different approach. We needed to make sure that this product will be commercially viable, and right. It happened finally this year.
And one final question on the ZT, which is, despite its being the flagship television, it is missing a couple of features. It doesn't have the built-in camera that's on the VT.
Yep.
And the reasoning behind that?
Well, the reasoning behind that is that this model is about picture quality. So the panel is more expensive. So as I said, in order to keep a reasonable price, we had to decide and take some decisions on what we put and what we don't. And because this product is let's say more targeted to home cinema enthusiasts, maybe their main preoccupation is picture quality. So that's where we put the emphasis on this model. And okay, there's no built-in camera, but if you want, you can still have an optional one. So at extra cost, but we needed to make sure that it was all about picture quality and keeping a still reasonable price on the market.
Okay. Right, so that's the top of the tree.
Yep.
Moving down to the VT60.
Yep.
How does that compare to last year's VT50?
It's just we've got some improvements on the range. So in terms of screen sizes, it's the same. So 50, 55, and 65. So we made some improvement on the panel, improved the black level. We've got color reproduction, brightness has been improved. It's an evolution compared to the VT50. So we should provide some
slightly wider color space than previously.
Yes, there is not as wide as the ZT, but it's an improvement there. You've got the built-in camera on the VT, so you've got all the face recognition and Skype and all the things, and so it's an evolution. So it's not the top of the range anymore, but it's still the product on the top end, which should generate the more sales, basically.
I noticed there's a new feature, or a new processing engine, the Hexa processing engine. I mean, can you talk about that, please?
Well, yeah, it's an evolution of last year chassis. So basically, we've got more processing power. So we use that for picture quality. We use that for smart features. We use that to improve the picture quality from online content. So we've got a lot new processing that's going on. So which is why it's an evolution from last year processor.
In terms of, you mentioned the smart features, there's the My Home screen, there's the remote app, and I noticed just a minute ago that in the remote app there's now a calibration feature.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
That's interesting. Is that sort of, I know it's more of a graphical representation of what the controls do at the moment, but is that sort of a move towards some kind of auto calibration feature in the future?
Well, yeah, it's just to help people to make the best use out of their products. And one of the issue when as you know very well, when you try to do some calibrations, is when you've got the menu appearing on the screen, it's just distracts you from the modification you do on that. So the good thing about this app is you can make the modification on the tablet or the smartphone and see the live result on the screen. That
actually would be really useful.
Yeah. So that was the approach, and to make this available to more people. To make sure that they can set up the products and give them more things to do with the product, basically. And the remote app is free, so as long as you've got a smartphone or a tablet, that should work.
Now, you alluded to this when we were at CES. We don't get the 65-inch ZT, but we do get a GT range in Europe again this year.
You see. You see, more things for us European. Yeah, so GT, we decided to keep GT in Europe. So I mean, it's the same as VT. It's a nice evolution from this year's range. So same screen sizes, 42, 50. You've got roughly the same improvement as you've got on the VT. So better black level, and so it's it's a nice. It's been very successful for us in 2012, definitely. So it made sense for us in Europe and in the UK to have a replacement for this range. So they have a slightly different view in the US, but for us it was a no-brainer, really.
And the GT shares the majority of the features that are on the VT, apart from the built-in camera.
Yes, and I mean, in terms of I mean, the panels are not dissimilar, but you should have still an edge on the VT compared to the GT. But the GT is already an improvement versus the GT50. So.
And then going down the line, very strong TV last year was the ST. Again this year, the ST.
Yep. The ST, yeah, it's coming back. We had actually we had a lot of discussions regarding the ST, but we decided to bring it back. Sorry.
Was there some thought of maybe dropping the ST and having a GT line instead? Was that
well, yeah. We just look at the market and looking at if you were maybe focusing on GT and above. But ST's done alright this year. It was a good lineup. So we kept 3 models. We just decided to drop the 65 this year. The reason is that we've sold a lot more 65 VT than 65 ST. Mm-hmm. So I think people looking on this kind of products are keen to maybe buy the next step. And I mean, even a 65 ST is not entry level. I mean, okay, it's lower down the range, but it's still a significant amount of money. So it looks like, from what we've seen this year, those customers, they were keen to move on directly to the VT. So we decided to focus on the 65 VT. So yeah, three screen sizes up to 55, which should fulfill the majority of the. There's
still going to be some complaints, I can guarantee that. Even if the sales figures don't suggest that.
I mean, there's always, as you know, we can't get it right anyway. There is always, but we have to make some choices. As you've seen today, we have a lot of plasma, we have a lot of LEDs as well, very wide range. So as much as I would like to please everybody, we have to make some choices. And yeah, unfortunately,
no. I mean, it's an extremely large plasma range, considering we're sort of in the sort of twilight years of plasma in a certain extent. I've been saying that. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, we're still there with plasma. We still love the technology. We're still pushing it, and as you've seen, the ZT is a testament to that. So yeah, of course, we are showing OLED, but now plasma still has a place on the market. There's still a big demand for plasma, and we will continue to push it. But on the other hand, the market is for LEDs big. So we had to extend the range on LED. So which is
massive range this year.
Yeah,
really
massive
big.
Range. Yes, massive range. We are extending the number of screen sizes. So we introduce more 39-inch now. So 50-inch LED.
You've got a 60-inch DT.
We do.
But no 60-inch WT, which is the only 2 screen sizes on the WT?
Yeah, for the WT, yes. 47 and 55. In terms of the panel we use there, we had only those 2 choices.
Are you at the mercy of a third-party supplier on that one?
Just for the front panel. All the rest is done by us. So
I mean, in terms of screen sizes, then that's something you can't necessarily.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, and we have to we had to make some decisions on the range one more time, and we felt that 47 and 55 is the good compromise for those screen sizes.
So what features have you added this year to differentiate this year from last year's LED TVs?
Well, I mean, the main feature. So we improved the backlight, local dimming, black level. We still have the advantages of the IPS technology for the viewing angle. but we try to improve the black level because that's something which is a bit more complicated on IPS. So we try to work hard on that to improve, and I think we've done it. And the new key feature for all the range, actually Plasma as well, is My Home Screen. So it's all the smart functionalities with or without cameras. But it's something which is across all the range, and we are going really to push about that. So still picture quality, of course, because it's our DNA. It's what we really want to do. But on top of that, we've got all those new smart features that are for LED and Plasma, and we are really confident about that because we think we find the right balance between giving a lot of new features and ease of use. So which is quite difficult, it's quite tricky to find the right balance, and I think this year we get it right. So we are very excited about all those products.
And another new feature I noticed is twin tuners on the higher end.
Yes, so twin tuners. So we've got that on the VT and ZT and the DT and WT. So it's actually we say twin tuner, but actually it's a dual twin tuner. To make things easy. So we've got two Freeview HD tuners and two FreeSat HD tuners. So you've got a lot of possibilities with that. So obviously you can watch two channels at once if you want to do it, or you can watch one channel and record the other one. You can even record two at once if you want. And with our smart functionality, you can watch one channel and send another one to your mobile device, for example, your tablet, your mobile phone, or even another TV through DLNA.
Right.
So if you have a bad reception at home and in one of the rooms, I don't know, you can still stream some content to the TV. Or if you have an old TV with analog tuner, you can still use that. Although it's unlikely to have DLNA if it's an analog tuner. But anyway, so you have a lot of functionalities thanks to the dual tuner. So and within the smart, within My Home Screen, you can have the main channels, and on the right side you can have the EPG. And as you browse through the EPG, you can see what's actually on the other channels at the same time, and you can swap. And so it's actually very good. So it's a great feature, and that's something I'm pleased we implemented on our.
Yeah, it's great because it means you can turn the TV into a fully functioning PVR, can't you?
Yes.
Without a hard drive.
Yeah. If you want to do that, we still have a lot of PVRs to sell. But yeah, if you want to do that with your TV with an external hard drive, and we have a partnership with Western Digital. So they have a range of products which works perfectly fine with our products, which are optimized. So in terms of transfer rate and all the things, so you get the optimal results. So it's a great functionality. So it's really and now the TV is really I know we've been using that for quite a while, but it's a real hub. Where you can manage all your content, and on My Home Screen you can mix live broadcast, online, catch up, video on demand. So that's great because it's something you can really personalize.
Yeah, so we mentioned it briefly at CES, but obviously this year's LED LCD lineup are using passive 3D rather than active shutter 3D. Bit of a change there for Panasonic.
Well, yeah. No, I mean it's it's common practice in the industry. So we use passive panels. So we think it's convenient. It's more. I mean, we say it's casual 3D, but actually you can watch movies, or it's just not as sharp. And of course, it's not full HD 3D, so that you will have to go on plasmas for that, because we still have active plasma. But for the majority of people, I think they are happy with passive. So we don't see that as a big issue. Actually, in terms of costing, is an advantage as well, because the glasses are cheaper.
Yeah, very cheap.
But I mean, we see that as a good complement in the range. I mean, you've got more 3D, like easygoing 3D on the LED, and the picture quality is really good. But of course, you don't have the full HD resolution, so you will have, as I said, to go to a plasma for that. But it's, I think we. I mean, even if we use passive 3D panels, I mean, all the rest of the product it's Panasonic original Panasonic technology. So and you know that panel is just one part of the equation. It doesn't mean that because the panel is like this, the picture quality will be like that. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the background, so I don't see that as a major change for us.
And saving the best to last,
yes.
You showed everybody at CES. You got it here as well.
Oh, I know where you're going.
56-inch 4K OLED. Is this a product that's going to come, or is it just a prototype? I mean, what's the...
Well, as it is now, it's a prototype. Is it going to come? Yeah, I hope so. When, we don't know yet, but I mean, the fact that we show it here, even as a prototype, it shows our intention. So we are working on that. As I said at CES, we think OLED at 4K is the good fit. When it's coming, it's too early to say, but I mean, it will be there.
Do you think you've got a way of making these panels, because up to now the yields have been incredibly low, which is one of the problems that some other manufacturers are facing. Do you think your printing method might be a solution?
Well, I think so. From the information we had from Japan, we seem to have an advantage there in terms of flexibility and cost efficiency. So hopefully we'll see that when the products will launch. But we seem to have a key technology in our bag there, so hopefully it will give us an advantage against our competitors. Okay. So we should be able to get more screen sizes and be more efficient in terms of production. So that's the vibe I get at the moment. Yeah. So I hope I will be able to tell you a bit more soon. But for the moment, unfortunately, that's all I can say.
Okay. Well, Fabrice, as always, it's been a pleasure. It's been a great convention. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thanks
a lot.